Greetings, everyone. DFG here. Hey, guys. Just want to take a moment and just share some thoughts with you on this Thanksgiving Day, some call Thanksgiving Day. In this message, I'm going to get from the Word, and then I'm going to also take some information from the European Union and share some insight as it links up, with the Word. Again, just to bring about truth and clarity to those of you who've already got your minds made up. This message is not to the individual who has already made a decision on what they're going to believe, and regardless of what would be considered truth versus what would be considered honest. And let me say that again. This message is to those who are more interested in what is truth versus what is honest. Because when you think about what is honest, and then that very easily can fall into one's belief system, one's personal opinions. As a matter of fact, if you look at Proverbs, the book of Proverbs 14 and 12, in the book, it states clearly here, it says, there is a way that seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Let me say that to you again so you can hear me clearly. He said, there is a way that will seem right to a man, but the end of thereof is the ways of death. In other words, you can think that you're right. You can think that you can be honest and sincere in what you're believing, but that does not mean that it's not a death sentence to you. Okay? And that's what Proverbs 14 and 12 is saying. And I think it's important that I bring that up, a difference between the honest and the truth. The truth is, there's a way that seems right to you. Honesty is that your opinion is not always right. Okay, just because you think it's the right thing to do, or because you found a way to justify it, does not make it right. It's because you say, okay, I'm gonna. That's the old saying, you can't put, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. And let me give you some more in depth on what I'm saying, just to be crystal clear here. Okay. Anyway, Proverbs 14. I'm gonna leave that in the description box of this particular video. But let me take you over to the book of Jeremiah. Okay. Again, our book. They call the Bible. Israelites know what this is. But let me give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It says, hear the word of the Lord. Hear you the word of the Lord, speaking unto you, O house of Israel. Thus said Elohim, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Now you listen to what he just said. Do not be dismayed at the signs of the heaven. Talking about climate, right? He said, because the heathens are dismayed at it. But it's interesting that they're dissatisfied with it, but they're the ones who created it. Talking about all this climate, disasters that they profess that's going on all over the world. But look at this article. Let me read this to you real quick. This is in European Union. It said, our house is on fire. Parliament declares climate emergency. It said the European Parliament has declared a global climate and environmental emergency. It has urged all UN countries to commit to net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Again, the European Parliament has declared a global climate environment emergency. What I just read right here in the word, what many people want to tell you and me that, oh, this is just a book written by somebody else. Again, like I said before, there is no man on this planet that is wise as the men and women of the Most High, especially when we come out of our ignorance, okay, when we're in our right states of mind. And this book is written to us because it knew the day would come that the truth would be revealed back to us who we are. And Yahweh didn't want us deceived, or he would bring us back into the truth. Daniel talks about that. I want to say it's Daniel chapter 12, around verse 4. He says that in the last days that knowledge would be increased, and the wise would understand, but the wicked, they will continue to do wickedly. Read Daniel chapter 12. I don't want to do that. I could do that for you, but I think you can do that on your own. Again, this message, I'm talking to you who already know. For you who don't know, who are not interested in knowing, I know nothing that I'm going to say that's going to change your heart. I can't change your heart. I don't desire to change your heart. I just desire to bring forth, what is truth versus what is honest. Do that the right way. Jeremiah chapter 10 goes on. It says, give you another idea. I'm going to read something to you, and I want you to tell me what you think I'm talking about, or what the book is talking about. It says, thus said Elohim, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, the customs, traditions of the people are vain, for they cut a tree out of the forest, the works of the hands of a workman with an axe. They deck it with silver and gold, they fasten it with nails and hammers, that it move not. They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not. They must need not be born. Now, what does that sound like to you? Hmm? Sounds like a Christmas tree to you? Well, let me skip down a little farther. And then it goes on to say, I want you to keep this Christmas myth in your mind. The honesty about Christmas in your mind versus the truth. Where did it originate? It goes on and says, every man is brutish in his knowledge, and every founder is confounded by the graven image. And the molten image is falsehood. Again, the image is falsehood. There's no breath in them. Talking about the baby Jesus, the manger, the nativity sets, and all these things that a lot of you are going to be running after tomorrow, for Black Friday. Because why? Because, the heathen say it's what you should do. And to make mockery out of you. Because we can take this thing right back down, and this is where I really want to get into the nitty and the gritty here. I just gave you a narrative telling you about Christmas way back in Jeremiah's day, a Christmas tree. You can't confuse that truth. And it says that's what heathens do. So the Israelites, he's talking to Israel here. He said, Israel, don't be like that. So when we start talking about things for this day, Thanksgiving, we tell you that this day has nothing to do with, pilgrims and people breaking bread. So you know what they do? They do what the heathen. And some people who are listening to this video, you're guilty of it too. You're doing what the heathens do. Because you're saying, well, it ain't about that. It's about being thankful because I got good health. And I'm thankful because I got a good job. And I'm thankful for my family. Well, different. You're just putting lipstick on a pig. You have 365 days a year if you're interested in showing love and appreciation, for your health and for your family and for your well-being. To stop everything and pour money into the heathens' coffers. The same people who slaughtered your people so that they'd be able to take advantage of their land. And now they enrich themselves, and you are continuing to enrich them by participating in it. But, how you say, a pig by another name is still a pig. So you just change the narrative because in your so-called honesty, it makes you feel better about participating, in another man's slop. That's the only way I can give it to you. These people, this is not about anything about genuineness. This is all about manipulation and monetization, to keep an economy afloat that, quite frankly, it needs to crash and burn. Because this economy was built upon blood of innocent people, men, women, and children. And this day, probably more than any other day of the year, is a day that you should really be in mourning. This should be a day of reflection. This should be a day where you step back and with a sense of truth and say, you know what? If I was ignorant to it, okay, I'm not ignorant anymore. And now that I know better, then I have the responsibility not only to do better myself, but also to teach my children to do better. Especially if you are people of Judah, and even some of the heathens, if the Gentiles who come into this knowledge and say, you know what, I'm not going to participate in it either. But to step back and just, and to wallow in it and roll it in and just say, it's not all about that. You guys are extremists. You guys are making more out of it. Then you tell that to the Most High when you meet him, and you will meet him. You tell that to him, okay, when you get there. You tell him that he was full of shit and you didn't give a damn because he didn't understand your heart. Because if he'd understood your heart, he would know that you weren't trying to offend him by going against his word by saying you don't do what the heathens do. You tell that to him. Because he said that a lot of you would do that. I think that's Matthew, I want to say 25, somewhere around 36, 37, 38, where they're going to come to him talking that they did all these wonderful things to Yeshua. And Yeshua is going to say, depart from me, you work of wickedness, iniquity. I never knew you. And they're going to say, well, I went to church and I healed the sick and I fed the poor. He said, you didn't do a damn thing for me. You did it for your own self. You did it for your own self-edification. You were a heathen intentionally, full knowledge. Because everything that you needed to know about what it was, you heard it because you heard this video. And not only myself, you hear it from many others. But you take this again, a day like today, a day that was clearly, I listened to a guy earlier today. His name is Ron Paul. He has a report called the Liberty Report. This guy speaks. He has almost probably 150,000 subscribers. Probably talks to, over the course of a year, millions and millions of people. White, older guy. Used to be a congressman. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Heard him talking about, Thanksgiving myth. And he went into the Pilgrim and Governor Bradford and talked about socialism and how the people didn't want to work. But one thing he slipped up and said, he said it was no Indians and Pilgrim coming together sharing bread. He said that did not, even he admitted that much of it. But again, rather than you guys accept the truth and deal with the truth, you'd rather change the narrative and just say it's all about family. Where your family been for all of you? So you need a heathen holiday that was based off of blood and of innocent people, of stealing their land, their crops, enriching themselves at their expense. Who the people happen to be? Many of you, if you look like this. And some that don't look like this are this. It was your blood that was the ancestors of it was your ancestors' blood that was shared for this celebration. And now instead of you taking a stand in honor of your ancestors and saying, I'm no longer going to participate in it because I was honestly wrong, I was sincerely wrong, you're going to just push it off and say, oh no, it's about God, it's about something else, using your word, the G-O-D-D-O-G word. Instead of step back and saying, how could I ever, why would I ever, not only celebrate it, but then pour into it. Everything you spent money on today to celebrate this so-called family, as now you want to call it, it's enriching the same people who oppress your people. That's how they got those riches, many of them. Most of these corporations, the Waltons families and all these other families, enrich themselves. You go back and follow the money. That's blood money. You follow that money. You follow it far enough, you'll find out that they were committing some of the most atrocious crimes in the history of America. Guaranteed. Just follow the money. You'll see what I'm talking about. Almost every one of these major corporations. AIG, Wells Fargo, all of them were slave traders. AIG was one of the first companies that was trading slaves on the slave market. That's how they enriched themselves. Same thing with Wells Fargo. So again, if you want to start talking about, truth and love and family and integrity and honesty, then why would you be putting spin? Why would you be taking lies and making these lies the truth when the scriptures simply tell you that we're not supposed to do that? The scripture's telling you again, there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is the ways of death. But you let people make you feel guilty, make you feel like somehow or another you're a rabble-rouser, you're an outlier. I can't tell you, people, they've already tried that with me today. And I'll tell you just like straight up, today is just another day for me. And whether the angel from heaven or Satan from hell come up here and try to tell me something otherwise, I will rebuke him in the name of Yahuwah. Because I'm going to stand on what I know is the truth. This means nothing to me. Not a single thing. Not a single thing. And it shouldn't mean anything to you. A day of slaughter and massacre and killing. And again, like James Baldwin said, you guys remember the author James Baldwin? James Baldwin said when he was a little boy, he used to love watching those cowboy and Indian movies. And he would see the cowboys, John Wayne, those guys killing up the Indians. And he said he thought great pleasure of it until one day he found out that the Indians were him. Black man. And you got some of these other idiots. I was listening to another guy commentary yesterday talking about all of us came from Africa. That's a damn lie. Less than 4% of all the Africans from Africa came to America. Less than 4%. So you want to tell me less than 4%, what they say 20 million people came out of there. So less than 4% of that 20 million came to America, somewhere about 200,000 or less, some numbers state. And you want to tell me in less than 300 years that number went from 200,000 to 400 million, to 40 million? No damn way. We were already here. Many of it was here long before Columbus or any slave ship, landed on the docks, on the east and west coast of these United States, so-called Turtle Island, as we know. So you keep your lies, you keep your falsehood. You can put lipstick on the pig all you want, but it's still a pig. So go eat your pork today and have a good damn time. But in the end, you will be judged for it. But not because that you are, trying to do, because you were embracing your family. No, because you put, a lie before the truth. In my own, I say, in your own honest self-righteousness. That's all I got for you. Take care, guys. Talk to you soon. DFG. Bye now.